Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today's topic is how the Chaos Invasion should work in the Total War Warhammer series. Please bear in mind this is in the perspective of any player who is not playing as a faction affiliated with the Ruinous Powers. So without further ado, let's begin. The Chaos Invasion is an endgame event that occurs in the Total War Warhammer series, specifically during its grand campaigns. This is when the forces of Chaos gather together and launch a massive invasion of the Warhammer fantasy world. This event is inspired by many occasions, when the ever-chosen of Chaos, whoever may be reigning at the time, gathers his forces in mass and seeks to lay waste to the Warhammer world in the name of the Ruinous Powers. Unless you're Archaon, of course, but he just likes to whine. Each Chaos incursion has normally devastated certain parts of the Warhammer fantasy world to near cataclysmic result, with the last Chaos incursion being the End Times, which saw the Warhammer fantasy world finally destroyed. In theory, the Chaos Invasion in Total War Warhammer should more or less be the same, however it is not represented as such in-game. For an endgame event, the Chaos Invasion is rather underwhelming, to be honest. And yes, while a lot of this could be attributed to the fact that the Chaos Warriors, the Beastmen and the Warriors of Norsca need their own official rework, plus the fact that we currently still do not have the Demons of Chaos in game, I still feel like the invasion itself could be better mechanic-wise. I mean, let's be honest, there are certain campaigns you might run where you might not even see the forces of Chaos at all, mainly because, and in the most usual case, a minor faction wipes them out as soon as they spawn in. Recently I've been theory crafting on how the Chaos Incursion could be made a bit more engaging and more of an actual threat. What you're seeing on screen right now is the most recent iteration of the Mortal Empires campaign, which was updated with the Warden and the Paunch DLC. We'll be using this map as the main basis of our video. Firstly, we're establishing the three main Chaos factions available in-game and giving them some respective colours so it's easier to distinguish on this map. These three races are the main threat in regards to the Chaos Invasion, and obviously when the Demons of Chaos are added in Game 3, they will also add to this equation. I'm not adding the Skaven to this list as I believe that the Skaven should remain independent. Now, as many of you are aware, how the Chaos Invasion works is there is a two-tiered system where after either you have built your empire to a large degree or a certain amount of turns have passed, the Warriors of Chaos will spawn at the Chaos Wastes with their first incursion. Generally, this is a small force depending on your difficulty, but nothing too difficult to deal with. Not long after, the second wave will hit, a much larger force led by Archaon the Ever-Chosen himself. A few minor factions will spawn across the map too, but it's nothing that you really can't get rid of. The Chaos Invasion is tied to Archaon himself. Once you remove the Warriors of Chaos faction from play, and Archaon the Ever-Chosen is in a wounded state, you've pretty much destroyed the endgame event. Now, seeing as minor factions get quite powerful by the time that they spawn in, there is a lot of cases that you will just not see the forces of Chaos whatsoever. It is rather lackluster, so after a bit of theory crafting, this is how I envision the Chaos Invasion. The Chaos Invasion should be represented by three tiers, each one stronger than the last. This would represent the forces of Chaos banding together in an effort to finally destroy the world in the name of the Ruinous Powers. The mechanics that set off the invasion should be the same as already implemented in game. Either a certain amount of time has passed, or your empire has reached a certain strength level. At this point, Tier 1 could begin. Here we'd see the start of a minor invasion. Beastmen Brayherds should begin to spawn around the map, mostly in areas that we know are in high concentration of goats. Examples would be the Drakwold Forest, so they could harass the Empire, Southern Bretonia, so they could harass the Wood Elves and the Bretonians, and lastly a small concentration in both Lustria and in the Northern Reaches just to annoy the Dark Elves a bit. Also at this point, any remaining Norscan tribes should begin to start allying up in an effort to start being more aggressive. Both the Beastmen and the Northmen should now start becoming quite the nuisance. After a certain amount of time, Tier 2 would begin. As you can notice here, the Warriors of Chaos have now officially entered the battle. As per usual, Chaos Warriors will spawn at the Chaos Wastes. This makes a lot of sense lore-wise and should always stay the same. Next we'll see some Chaos Warriors spawning in the Northern Reaches where the Dark Elves are, and finally in the east to represent the eastern tribes such as the Kurgans coming down to wreak havoc. At this point, the Northman tribes should have already united, and now we should start seeing some minor factions appearing around the coastlines, representing the fact that many of them have now taken to their longships and have started invading the Southerners. Here we have one spawning near Ulthuan to annoy the High Elves, one near Estalia, and the other one in the southern reaches of the Warhammer world, which can either move towards Lustria or to Nehakara. And lastly, the Beastmen will continue to do their own thing. Some new tribes will spawn in, probably getting wiped out on the same turn. But it is at this point that the forces of chaos should become a problem. Not too much that they'll be openly devastating, but enough that you'll have to start to take notice, and the factions of order will now begin to get the Shield of Civilization perk. And finally, not long after that, should we see the third and final tier. Here we should see all Warriors of Chaos, Norska and Beastmen factions, whether they had spawned in during the event or not, they should now get a permanent military alliance. Spawnings for all three factions would now dramatically increase. The Warriors of Chaos would be the most dramatic one, with more forces appearing from every spawn location and a large amount of new armies spawning near the area known as the Chaos Waste. This is where Archaon the Ever-Chosen would spawn with a vanguard of Norskins and Beastmen by his side. As you can see, now the map looks a bit more concentrated, with various enemies popping up all over the map. This now looks like a real chaos invasion. The threat is now very obvious, as now all sides of the world are being attacked. So it's not like you'll see random events like seeing High Elves appearing near Kislev to defend against chaos. Having all the forces of chaos unite does make a lot of sense here, especially if this is supposed to be a true endgame scenario. You'd want to feel like the whole world is in danger. Now obviously something like this would change dramatically when Total War Warhammer 3 launches, especially once the Demons of Chaos are added into the equation. Now things would become a much bigger threat. But until then, I think this is a decent enough suggestion for a fix until we move on to the third and final game of the series. Obviously the danger presented by chaos would be dependent on your difficulty setting, where it could be the harder you place your difficulty, not only would it spawn more armies, but also more minor factions across the Mortal Empires map. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and let's start a bit of a discussion. I'm rather curious to see what you guys have in terms of ideas for the Chaos Invasion. It's never really been that big of a threat and it is a massive shame. At the end of the day, we've seen a lot of stuff in relation to lore about these types of invasions, so I was really hoping it would be translated rather well. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various different social media links such as Facebook, Instagram and Discord, where you can get in contact with the Great Book team. Also in the description section below is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Using our special link and also the special code, which is also in the description below, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons, your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A special thank you to Ryan Bertsche and Gibraltar LUSC for subscribing to us at our Fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule and VSVasan for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you guys enough. The money earned from Patreon is going directly back into the channel, slowly upgrading little bits and bobs, just trying to get to a higher level of content for you guys. And a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. The support has been insane lately and honestly we can't be more than excited. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.